Steve,
Chris.
man, I'm back on starting the podcast the right way.
I'm back too.
Man, this is going to be a good one today.
As opposed to the other bad ones? What, like,
I think we're at episode 21 already.
no. Really?
Are we?
I can't believe we have that much garbage to say.
I don't know, but this is going to be the best one.
That's what I say every time.
I know.
And every time I'm right.
So far.
Or I'm not. It depends. There are some of these, some of these I watch, and some are just better than others. It is weird. It is weird. It's very strange doing this. I'm not, like, you've done this a lot longer than I have, but I'm still
Slightly.
I'm still like, why are these things blinking? And like, why are there lights? And I'm scared.
And
I'm
here
used to
we
being
are.
in a dark little studio alone. Just
Yeah.
like me and my coffee.
Not anymore.
No, now I'm here. I have to be careful what I say.
Yeah, because you're not only on with me, but with
I can't.
everyone watching.
It is consciously not just saying what I think about things,
I know.
as blatantly as my American mind wants to. There is something to that. I'm always break checking. So
all that to say that it's going to be a great podcast.
here we
episode,
are.
Okay,
the best one. The best.
The best.
Yes.
The best. But before we move forward, the best podcast.
Yes.
Let's pivot.
Pivot.
Yeah. Subscribe, like, share, and subscribe again in case you didn't the first time.
On YouTube.
On YouTube.
That's where the action is.
Yes, because you can see these beautiful faces. Come on.
Come on.
You can't go wrong.
You go, boy.
Okay, it does feel weird when someone else says
Right?
that at you.
Yeah.
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 And we also have something new on the podcast.
I like new things.
Oh man, me too.
Do we have do we have a new person?
No, we don't. It's
Did we get a puppy?
No, not even. So it's still going to be me and you talking without a puppy.
Okay.
Okay, so puppy free. But we do have our first sponsor, and this is very exciting.
You go, boys.
Very exciting.
We go. We got a sponsor.
So who's the sponsor?
Well, this started in IR in real life.
It
did because you started working with Audient on some video stuff for their new ID48. I think was the first thing.
A few
Was
months
the first
ago.
one you did.
No, I did several.
You did stuff
other
before that.
videos.
That was when I
years ago,
came into your life.
Yes.
And this ID48 thing was sitting there in a box. And so I actually had to do a recording in the house, and I needed an actual interface to my laptop because I've been studio free. And so I stole the thing.
Yeah.
I physically just took it.
You literally stole it.
I literally stole it, used it, loved it, and started stealing it regularly after that.
Yes.
To the point where you were like, I want to keep mine. Let me reach out to Audient. And so that's how we ended up with Audient as a sponsor, because you were like, you need to get your own. Let me make some calls.
There you go.
And so now they are on board, and
but
we are on board.
honestly, they're good interfaces.
They are good interfaces. I'm using them kind of as my primary thing of late, and I'm making a lot of records with them.
There you go.
And it's that weird combo of like clean but can be pushed.
Preamps are amazing.
But the
for a sound
preamps
interface,
sound great.
and they sound great.
And like, and when as a preamp, that's what you want, is your preamps to sound great.
Yeah,
so
totally.
the preamps sounded terrible, but the knobs were amazing.
Yeah, it wouldn't be a good start.
I've actually owned those products. I've owned those products.
Have a problem with it.
Anyway, yay, Audient. Thanks for
sponsoring this video.
Yeah, thanks for joining.
Yeah.
The best video we've made so far, they came on just at the right time.
Right
for
time.
the best episode.
Exactly. We were actually waiting for to bring them in for
to
get
do the
on
best episode?
the best episode ever. And here we are.
Let's start it.
All right. So what are we talking about today, Steve?
This topic came about, it was kind of in passing on an earlier podcast. I said something about, if I remember correctly, me not understanding that technically and you do, or something. It's something like that. And it's kind of a running gag where you kind of know a bit more technically than I do about things. And so then in my head, I started feeling sad about myself, and I'm thinking, I don't know a lot of technical stuff. Like, I've made a fine living doing this, but then I get on and I'm looking at like Andrew Sheps, and he's talking about, sound wave things and technology and physics of sound and resonances and like all the stuff, right? And so then I kind of feel sad. And then I was at NAMM, I think it was this year or the year before, and I think it was Chad Blake. He's up there, and somebody asked him a question. He's like, I don't know. He's like, I don't know. I don't even know what you're talking about. He's like, I just mix until it sounds good, and then I release it, right? And so I was
two worlds.
It was literally, they were back to back on the mix with the master stage, and so that's where this kind of started gelling in my head over time. And then now I'm hanging out with you and the professor, and who knows all this stuff. And so that's the conversation
You
is,
think I know all this stuff.
you know a lot of stuff about stuff. And so that's kind of the conversation is, you know, in an unguided way, you know, technical versus practical.
Yeah.
And, you know, and then we've talked a bit, we've applied this to music as well. There's the you know, the Juilliard Conservatory educated musician who's making a living here, and then there's the guy who's like, I don't know, over here making a fine living as well.
You know, I place my fingers here on the neck, and
I do that,
works.
and it sounds nice, right? And so same thing here, right? Like so,
totally.
So I guess from the top, maybe we start with, you know, educationally, you're not formally educated in this stuff, are you?
To a degree, yes.
Like,
but
you
I
did
don't have
recording stuff, but you didn't like go to university.
Not university. I went like to a production school.
Yeah.
You know, like the basic stuff.
Yeah.
You know, I don't have like a degree.
Yeah.
In audio engineering.
Yes.
I don't. You
You
know,
learned audio engineering.
I've learned it. Yeah, in the studio.
Correct.
Doing it.
So you did start with a formal like sit in a chair and read a book.
Yeah, I did like for a year.
You started with a chair and a book.
Yeah, in front of a class and all that stuff, and which was also a studio, so it was kind of you know, practical side of it also.
Yep.
Which is the case for most music production schools, anyways. But most of what I've learned was by doing it.
Like, what % of people doing this for a living?
Yes.
Do you think are formally educated in it?
I don't think there's a lot.
It's probably a small %, right?
Probably.
Like,
and without being educated per se, like with the diploma and everything.
That's what I mean. That's what I mean.
Yeah, I'm talking about like being more of a geek, you know, or more of a, in a good way, you know, like having that knowledge, all that technical, scientific knowledge behind sound engineering and all that stuff, you know?
So that's an interesting point.
I don't think there's a lot.
But that can even be broken off.
Yes.
So there's book learning. Like,
Yes.
I went and got a degree over years in audio engineering. That person.
Yes.
Then there's the person that starts doing it and falls in love with the nerd side of it, right?
Yeah.
And like last week we had the conversation with Rock from Allo, and he's just, that guy knows so much technical stuff, but at the same time he's like, hey, they sound good. Right.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I, you know, like there's the cart horse thing. I remember asking him, like,
Cool.
how do you think of yourself as a listener or a headphone builder? And he's like, right. So there's a bit of that. So there's people that love the physics of sound and learning more and more. And, you know, it's like the people that like to work on their cars on the weekend. Like they like to take apart their carburetor for fun.
Yeah.
You can have a guy do it in 20 minutes, or I spent the whole day doing it. Right.
Just for fun.
I had a beer and took apart my carburetor and watched the game and like, right.
Yeah.
And so there's that piece. So that's okay. So all that to say, book learning, joy learning.
Yeah.
And then I don't care about any of that. I'm just going to twiddle the things and slide the slideys until I feel happy.
Yes.
And people pay me.
Yes.
So those might be our three categories, right? So I think you are like small version of the first one. Skip the...
Yeah, maybe a small version.
And you have a small version of the second one, I would say.
Oh, yeah.
Even just educating to do each video you do.
Yeah.
You're like diving down a rabbit hole.
Oh, yeah.
So that when you say something, you don't get completely skewered by the internet.
There's that. So yeah,
you're trying to learn enough
to do your research correctly.
Right. So there's a bit of one for you, a bit of two for you, and a lot of three.
For sure.
Which is just going for it.
A lot of three. Yeah. Actually, I think the more I go, the more I want the number three.
Number three
more
is
in
fantastic.
My life. You know, because honestly, when you go too much into the technical side, there's stuff that is very fun to know about. You know, when like you analyze a plugin, for example. For example, you know,
what's a rabbit hole you've gone down where you're like, I want to learn more, or you're Googling?
I don't know if I've jumped into any huge rabbit holes.
I know one that you did.
Okay, go ahead.
The Harmon curve thing.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, but you know,
EQ curves became a passion for you. Like you were telling me stuff about that with passion, different curves and EQing.
Yeah.
Like it was just this weird little technical thing.
Yeah.
That you just learned all about.
But yeah, but again, it's like it's a thing that is debatable for a lot of people.
Oh yeah.
You know?
Yeah,
we're talking about like subjective type of thing,
and not even Harmon itself, but just the idea.
Yeah, the idea behind it. I can. Yeah, stuff like that I can dive into, or talking about sample rates and stuff like that. There's the technical side of it, and it's quite interesting.
It's
fun. So I do dive into kind of a rabbit hole, but not too deep.
Yeah,
but just enough to have fun. Okay,
exactly.
At some point, it just gets on my nerves.
It does.
Like you know, but a lot of people like that stuff, and all power to them.
Do you find I do? Like I learn so much about something that I just don't want to learn about it anymore. I hit a point where I'm like, you kid. I'm not liking this anymore. Or this is annoying me. It gets annoying at some point.
Okay, I'm going to say one thing that I like to fall into is when I analyze a plugin or analyze a piece of gear. So I made a series of videos where I went and take a 1176 and show people how that one works.
Yes.
How to work with it in 1176.
Yes.
How does it behave?
Yes.
The input, the output, the way the attack and release are made, how fast they are compared to other type of compressors, So these types, or compared to an LA2A, how the LA2A is going to work, how it's going to react.
And maybe why
I like that stuff.
Maybe why this is more fun is because it is not limitless.
Exactly.
Right? You learn all the buttons and the knobs, and then you're good. I know everything there is to know about the front panel of this. I can move on with my life.
Exactly.
Where if I then said to you, okay, so now you're working with a diode bridge compressor, and tell me the history of that, and now you're inside, and now you're chasing the history of this, and now it becomes more technical and less knob button.
Yeah, and this is where I kind of
where the knobs and buttons are instant feedback.
Yeah,
I turn this, and I know this happens. And that's fun.
This is the fun part that I like, But again, it's not all engineers and even like Grammy-winning engineers that are necessarily going to know everything behind what an 1176 is going to do.
It's amazing how many people I chat with that are top of their game, and then and they're like, oh.
And is it okay?
Yeah, according to the bank account. According to the radio.
I think it doesn't matter that much. Yeah. In a way.
They're creating the sounds of our generation, some of these guys.
Or it's like, like music composers that know nothing about music theory.
Right.
Same thing.
They just made really neat sounds.
Yeah.
And they defined a genre of music.
Yeah. They write songs and they write music and they have like royalties.
Yes.
In their bank.
Yeah.
Through their bank
and everybody's like, you suck. And they're like, ha 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 ha.
Exactly.
Yeah. Like it's a weird thing that. So, and what about broader concepts? So you, I know, have done some more extensive videos on a broader concept, i.e. Compression. That's a great one. Where what percent of engineers, if you go, explain compression to me, they go, just this, and then it does a thing.
Yeah. Even, some will have like different definitions. Definitions of
where
what a compression
does. Where that can be like a Sheps, man. When they start explaining that stuff, you're like, whoa.
Yes.
Right? Like, oh, like what you said, that makes sense, right? And there's so much, because it is technically, physically doing a thing.
It is.
And it is emotionally, sonically doing a thing, and they're not completely connected oftentimes, right? So you talk to gear manufacturers and they're explaining what this thing does, and I'm like, dude, it just makes it louder. Like my buddy Rupert Neve, like I sit down with this guy and he's just like, okay, here's what's happening. Back on the wound of the thing and I'm like, it just gets brighter.
Yeah.
Right? So
but for me,
so broad concepts like EQ compression.
Yeah.
How far into that?
Again, for me, it has to be in relation to sound, to what I experiment when I mix a song. I don't care about the graphs and all the curves and all that stuff, when it comes to an EQ. Sometimes, of course, I like to jump into Plugin Doctor, and just analyze a plugin, see how that EQ curve, that knob is going to affect the EQ curve, just to know what it's doing.
Yeah.
Okay. But aside from that, I just want to know what it does to the sound.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Yes.
And the rest is, okay, do I like this plugin? Do I like the look of the plugin? Do I like, the way the knobs are made and they react and all that stuff, the design of the plugin? This is what I'm going to look at. So there's a bit of technical stuff I'm going to dive into, but not as deep as other people on YouTube.
Every once in a while I get genuinely curious though about something. Like it'll be, for me, it was like, I remember the time people kept talking as a younger lad about music overtones. And I was like, what is that? What is this voodoo called? So you kind of so that would be a bit of a curiosity thing, right?
Exactly.
Harmonic distortion. What is that? Right?
Yeah,
so
exactly.
I hear a term and I'm like, I know what it sounds like, but how does this happen in the real world?
Even harmonics, odd harmonics.
How does that happen in the real world, right?
Yeah.
And so there's physics and things, and you see charts, and it was like Rock doing that thing with the piece of paper last week with the headphones. If you haven't seen that, it's a cool conversation. But he's just distortion with wagging a piece of paper, and I'm like,
that was the best illustration I've seen.
That's amazing.
It was.
Like, I love those like aha kind of moments.
Yeah,
that's distortion on a 10 hertz frequency with a piece of So
yeah, exactly.
So every once in a while, it is fun to just have an aha.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but at the end of the day, it's like, sometimes it doesn't matter either.
It doesn't matter.
You know, like for harmonics, you're talking about saturation. Okay?
Yeah.
Even harmonics, odd harmonics and stuff like. I actually made a video on that, and it's cool to know about. You know, that stuff is cool to dive into. But
does it
then when I insert a saturation plugin, I don't care much what it does. What I care is what I get out of it.
Yeah. I remember one of my mentors, Leon, used to always say, he'd say, man, I don't know how the electricity works. I just know when I do the switch, it comes on. Right?
Exactly.
Like that. I know how to do the switch, and I'm good. I'm in the room.
Yeah.
So, but how much? So then to counter that, I would say, how much does educating yourself in certain things contribute to your mixes? For example, EQ. That's a great one. When you learn what and where 700 is, are you then able to mix faster and better because you know what 700 is before you reach for it?
But again,
or are you just sweeping along looking for the thing?
Yeah, but if on paper you learn about what 700 hertz is on paper,
so then go one step further. So now you're doing ear training.
Yes, without ear training, like forget it.
Correct.
It's not going to work.
But ear training is education. So paper and ear training to me is in the same bucket.
Sure.
Now you're applying it to your mix. So are there certain concepts that then knowing ahead of time what it is before you reach for it
could be easier?
Could be easier.
It's like music theory.
Okay.
Yeah. Like, I'll give you an example. Like for me, and I'm probably going to go back to what we were talking before, but I remember the first time I called my friend Jimmy. We didn't know each other back then, years ago. So I needed someone to arrange music with and a guitar player also for the studio. And I heard a lot about this guy, and I was like, okay, I'm going to call him up and ask him to come to the studio. And he has a music degree and stuff. I didn't care. Like I don't want to see your diplomas or university degrees and stuff. It's just play music.
Yeah.
And I'm going to judge by what I hear.
Well, it makes me feel funny.
Exactly. So he made me feel funny.
Yeah.
So that's why I worked with him like for the next 20 years afterwards. But I forgot my train of thoughts. But your question before
education versus real world application.
Yeah. So like Jimmy having a degree.
Mm-hmm.
Helps a lot, when we're arranging a song and stuff, he's a very good musician, but the fact that he knows theory helped me a lot as someone who didn't know theory a lot to arrange music with this guy, anyway. So I learned a lot about music theory only from him. I think knowing theory, like music theory or technical mixing
technical theory,
audio whatever, in audio, is not going to make you necessarily the best mixing engineer or the best musician. However, it can make your life easier in a lot of situations.
Faster.
Way quicker for mixing decisions. Faster. Or, to get from point A to point B in a very quick way. Like you were saying with the 700 hertz.
Yeah.
So if you know how 700 hertz sounds like because you did a lot of educational ear training, you'll know right away if there's something wrong in your mix in that region.
Okay, so then to counter this whole thing,
sure.
People that break the rules often have amazing long careers.
Yes.
Because they didn't know they were breaking the rules because they never learned the rules.
Yes.
Do we advocate that?
But are
learn nothing and become...
Okay, but what about...
The whole list of names that come to mind of people who have had long careers through our entire lives that...
But there's also people that have lots of knowledge.
Yeah.
Lots of technical knowledge, but also break the rules on purpose.
Yeah.
Or just by randomly.
Yeah. So there's no right answer?
And they're still very successful.
There's no right answer?
I don't think there is.
Dang it. I'm trying to find the answer.
It's like anything. I think if there's a time for everything. There's a time to learn. There's a time to practice your craft.
Yes.
And there's a time to get paid to do it.
Yes.
So it's hard to only focus on one. If you only focus on the technical side and you never rehearse, you never practice, you never work in that field, you're going to have lots of knowledge, but you won't be able to mix.
It's like I could spend 25 years reading about how to ride a bike. And the second I sit on one and roll a little bit, I go, that's how it works.
Yeah.
Right? It's a weird, weird thing where doing the thing, you learn so much.
You will learn the thing is, it's not about not learning because while you do stuff, you learn as you go.
Yeah.
Okay. But it's more about learning or having the knowledge of all the technical geeky stuff.
And
we're talking about more.
And there's no fear of injury or self-harm.
No.
You know what I mean? It's you go to the gym and you're watching the guy in the machine. You're like, this guy doesn't know how to use the machine. He's going to get hurt.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to pull his shoulder out of his socket or whatever, right? Where here, it's just like, well, my mix didn't sound very good. I guess I'll delete that and go again.
Exactly.
Right? So you can learn on the job here. And then you're right. There's a time to get paid. That was a really interesting point.
Yeah.
Because there's a point where I have to stop learning and just nail this thing for 2 days because I know what they want and I have to listen to the reference and nail this thing. And then I'm going to go back to that thing I was learning and experimenting with.
It's not the time to pull off plugin doctor at this point.
Exactly. Start playing with plugins and experimenting and learning. So it is. And how often do you learn from just a new gadget? Like I get a new plugin and we were talking some weeks ago about plug in and I'll load the user preset.
Yes.
Like this is the Greg Wells vocal thing. And I'll load it and just go, this is how he thinks of
vocals.
Yeah. And that's what he does for his upper mids. And right?
I never thought of that.
I just learned something.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So there's learning in doing and reverse engineering. And
for sure.
If I went and took apart my carburetor, I would learn really fast how to reassemble a carburetor.
For sure.
Because my wife's going to want to use the car.
Yeah.
And she's grumpy because I'm out there with my beer taking apart a carburetor on a weekday. So there is.
But I think what's important also is like it's good sometimes like to jump into rabbit holes, and there's a time for that.
It's super fun.
But at some point, if it's a distraction for you to be productive and for you to move forward with good mixes, it's not worth it. If I jump into a rabbit hole, it has to have a purpose. And it has to make me a better mixer, or producer, or whatever,
Or you need to be having fun,
or I need to be having fun, and that's
And if none of those are happening,
I just don't want to be the guy on Gear. What is it again?
Mixdown Online. The guy with the beard. That guy? Don't be that guy.
I don't want to be that guy.
Don't be that guy. So stupid. Gear Space.
Gear Space.
They renamed it.
I know, like 5 years ago.
Yeah.
I'm still stuck on the first one.
Yep.
I don't want to be that guy on Gear Space.
Just fighting it out.
Just fighting, and just like arguing all the technical geeky stuff.
Yeah.
And
that's why you go on Mixdown Online.
Yes, which is not Gear Space.
No.
But there's some good stuff on Gear Space.
There is some good stuff on Gear Space.
Yeah. You do some research sometimes, like, you're going to find your answer.
It's pretty amazing, actually. I still go there.
Yeah, me too.
And I still read. There's still people that I've trusted for years on there.
Of course.
They're standing strong. They're still in the fight, man.
Of course.
So what did we learn today?
I don't know.
We learned nothing.
It was supposed to be our best podcast.
That's what makes it the best. We learn nothing. This is what we do.
Okay, I would say that if I have an advice,
yeah.
Okay, education is awesome. If you have that in your toolbox, I think you have like just better tools to work with. And same for mixing and producing.
And again, it just like so many of our things end with enjoy the journey.
Exactly.
Like if it's fun to take apart your carburetor, go do it. If not, let the professional do it and you go back to your job.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's that. Like enjoy this journey.
So anyways.
There it is.
There it is.
We learned nothing.
I know. What about the question of the week?
I have a question of the week.
Maybe we'll learn something here.
Nope, probably not. But we'll talk about it.
Maybe this will make our podcast to be the best podcast.
We're right on the edge right now.
Oh man. I feel like still missing something, dude.
I feel like we're right on the edge.
You go.
Boy.
I didn't say it.
You thought it though. I felt it. You paused in just a way that I had to fill it in.
We make a very great team.
It's not fair. It's like the guy goes like do 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 do
and stops.
Everybody's like like it's that. That's what you did. You go. It's unfair. I'm getting myself in trouble.
Smart.
No. Evil genius. Okay, this one was, I can't remember who sent this in, and I wish I remember.
Let's call him Bobby.
You know
John
what?
Doe.
You know what?
Let's go with John Doe.
I think this happened during a live stream. I think somebody asked this.
Oh, you know what?
And I think you're right. I think I
on
typed
the
it in here
MCC.
real quick on the MCC live stream.
Yes.
But somebody said, my mixes do not translate well to other devices. They're either too muddy or too tinny.
And we told them, we're going to talk about that.
And we did like a 5-second response. And I'm like, we're going to talk about this.
Okay.
So translation.
Yes.
Translation.
Oh, man.
Like it was last week with Rock. Like translation. That's the punchline of this entire joke.
Yes.
Is if you, that's the translation.
You know, translation comes when you know your system well, when you know how good music sounds like on whatever speakers or headphones you work with.
So the definition of translation is I mixed it here. It sounds great. I took it other places and it didn't sound as good.
Yeah. But then when you take it to other places
and it
doesn't sound great.
Yes.
But it doesn't sound great according to what? Do you know like those other medium? Like if you, I listened to my mix in my friend's car and it sucked. Okay. Is that the only thing you listened to in your friend's car, or was that your first time listening to music in that car?
Also, it was a 1989 Honda Civic. Yeah. We had to convert it onto cassette so we could play it in this car at highway speed.
Exactly. So I'm going to put it like this. I mix a song on my speakers or headphones. If I want to know if they translate well, I'm going to bring that mix and listen to it on my other headphones that I know well, or my home system upstairs that I listen to music on a lot, and if I bring it to my car, well, it has to be because I know how good music sounds in my car because I listen to a bunch of music inside the car. If not, it's a bit useless. Okay. So
interesting.
And even before I listen to my own mix on another system, I'm going to listen to my references also on that system to get into that zone, to get into, okay, this is a good mix. This is good sounding music. And this is how it sounds like in this car, And before I put on my mix. So I know exactly if I'm in the ballpark or not. So this is translation. But translation has to be done in the right way also.
This is a very intelligent answer, Professor.
I try.
This is really well done.
I try my best.
And honestly, I've never quantified this thought that you just gave. Like it's the right answer that I've never thought. I do it. I know my car and I know my Sonos in my living room.
You know your little
and I know my
AirPods.
wife's car and I know my AirPods. I'm not going to take it to some random person's house and ask to borrow their living room so I can listen to my pop mix, right?
And even if I go into another studio, like with amazing speakers and stuff, and I did that in the past.
Yeah.
Bring my mix to my friend's studio. So I want to listen to my mix and your speakers, But before we do so, we listen to a bunch of music.
But to your earlier point, you just go, why? Why? If I listen to it in my car and my house and my wife's car,
I think you have enough.
And this stuff, like if I've done that and it sounds great to me,
you're good.
Why do I need to go listen to it on my friend's great speakers?
No, you don't.
That's interesting.
If you visit your friends.
But no, I'm making your point for you again. Like you're right.
Yeah.
To your earlier point.
Yeah.
There's no point in that.
No.
You can do it for fun.
Not for fun. I was talking about for fun.
Yeah, but I'm saying to reference it, again, that's like going to somebody's living room and asking to borrow their living room.
Honestly, on my end, headphones, if I mix on my headphones, I'm going to hook on my speakers and maybe another set of headphones, and that's it.
And then from there, the last piece of this, I guess, before we quit or get fired by ourselves is feedback then. So now you're getting, you know what I mean? It's translating to your client's wife's car. And he's going, hey, it sounds weird to me. What do you do with that? What do you do when the client goes, hey, I listened to it and there's no low end?
But then again, it's honestly what because that happened to me before. And
I'll tell you.
And I always, the answer I'm going to give the client in that case, put on your regular music, the music you listen to. I'm going to ask them the question, do you listen to music in your car?
That's exactly the question.
Or only the podcast? If you're listening to our podcast, that's great.
Obviously.
Okay? Come on.
Goes without
I don't
saying.
even know if you need to listen to music.
I'm going to edit that out.
but if you're listening
to
other,
embarrass yourself with that
but
statement.
if you're listening to other podcasts and not music, you have a problem. And then you put on your mix, that's going to be the first question.
Because and a lot of it is, hey, remember that reference mix you gave me that you said you wanted to sound like?
Yeah.
Listen to that first. and then put yours on.
Exactly.
And then go back to that, and then put yours on.
Exactly.
And then tell me what you don't like. It doesn't have low end. It doesn't. I promise it does. Listen to just the bass and the kick, and then put yours on, right? Or the singer's too loud. No, it's not. You're the singer, and you're embarrassed of your voice. Listen to it. You know what I mean? So it's like zoom out and listen to yours and theirs.
It's to put them in context.
And the context is huge.
It is.
Okay.
So, to finish this off, I'm going to say that if you want to get better translation, it doesn't matter what speakers you use to mix or headphones. Okay. Like, it's not a piece of gear that's going to make a huge difference in the translation of your mixes into other systems. Is how well you know your speakers or headphones you work with. Okay. And on my end is what I do. I listen to music. I actually talked about that to Rock last week. I listen to all of the music I listen to. I'm going to use my speakers that I mix with. I'm going to use my headphones I mix with, the same way I do when I mix with them. So if I have like on my headphones, if I have like the Harman curve, I'm going to do the same when I listen to Amazon Music. If I have like crossfeed on, I'm going to activate crossfeed when I listen to music. If I have your room correction thing going on for my speakers, that's how I'm going to listen to music.
And you're listening to something on Amazon that has been proven to translate all over the place already.
Yeah, exactly.
And you're trying to match
good,
it.
high quality, professional sounding mixes. So I know exactly how good produced and good sounding mixes sound like in my environment.
Love it.
In my medium. And that's it. So that's how you're going to be able to make your music translate well everywhere.
Boom.
There you go.
This was the best episode ever.
I think it was.
Let's go.